Hello everyone! This is something new for our channel, something we have been wanting to do for a long time now, and it finally sees the moonlight. We proudly welcome you to our new series, Storytime with Queen of Dragons. These podcasts will be dedicated to our love of different stories, mythology, and old tales from around the world. And the first one, and the topic of today's podcast, is going to be mermaids. Typically, they portrayed as women with body of a woman from head to waist and the body of a fish below. In a lot of cultures, they are seen as vain and depicted holding a mirror and a comb, which symbolize their pride and love for luxury, but can't blame them uh, for because there's nothing wrong with loving yourself. One of the first ever records of a mermaid comes from old Syrian culture. Her name is Atargatis. Some other cultures also relate her to Astarte, which is a queen of heaven for ancient culture Canaanites. And Aphrodite, as you all know, she's an ancient Greek goddess associated with love and beauty. She also is often linked with the astrological sign Pisces. Finagar is also a mermaid. He just is a Pisces. Have to make it clear that Assyrian Atargatis is a goddess who is only sometimes, but not always, portrayed with the tail of a fish. She's often also shown with a sheaf of wheat arched over her head, relating to a plentiful harvest. Mermaids are not only women, but they can be men also. First mentions of mermen are over 7,000 years old, and they come from ancient Babylonia. Babylonians honored a merman called Ea, later known with the name Oans by the Greeks. He was the god of the sea. He had upper body of a man and lower body of a fish. He often interacted with the people by speaking their language and giving them knowledge about art and science. Poseidon and Neptune for Greeks and Romans later are actually inspired by tales of him. For Romans, Neptune was god of water and the son of god Saturn. Greeks, even before that, had their god Poseidon, who was also the god of the sea, the son of Cronus and the brother of Zeus and Hades. And when the world was divided, Zeus took the sky, Hades took the underworld, and Poseidon took the seas. And even though Poseidon is shown with the body of a human, he is able to live in both on land and under the sea. He's married to sea nymph Amphitrite, and they have a son Triton, who looks more like a merman as we know them. Triton looks half like a man and half like a fish. Anyway, if you want to find out more about Triton, I highly recommend reading Greek mythology, but we are moving on. The most famous mermaid story is the one written by Danish author Hans Christian Andersen. It was first published in 1837, so in 19th century. It's got a very sad ending though, but not like Disney version obviously, in which a mermaid falls in love with a human. But in reality, even though he's a good author, this plot was not unique at all, since in a lot of legends, especially from Scotland and Wales, mermaids often befriended and even married human. In those tales, they are able to walk on land. All they have to do is just take off the skin of the fish, and they have to be very careful not to lose it whilst wandering about, because if they do lose it, they are not able to return to their underwater realm. Even though these stories might give you an impression that mermaids are only perceived positively, I assure you that this is not the case. They are also often associated with misfortune and death, especially in folk tales told by sailors. Fishermen in many cultures often used to blame mermen for summoning storms, which caused ships to sink and sailors to drown. In Scotland, there were stories about these mermen with blue skin and grey beards drowning ships for fun. They were very feared. Mermaids are often associated with sirens from Greek mythology as well. They were dangerous creatures who lured nearby sailors with their enchanting music and singing voices to shipwreck on the rocky coast of their island. Based on these legends about sirens, people in even later cultures in their folk tales were telling similar tales about mermaids, but I have to make it clear that sirens and mermaids are not the same. Sirens don't even have tails of fish, nor they live underwater. Looks-wise, they are believed to be a combination of woman and a bird, portrayed in various ways, for example, as a woman with legs of a bird, or with or without wings, and so on. A lot of people also believe that mermaids are creatures left behind from long lost land of Atlantis, therefore they are peaceful and have high vibration and they do not wish harm to anybody. The symbolism of mermaids is water, femininity, independence, rebellion, temptation, seduction, and transformation. So, if any of these feel good to you, feel free to get yourself a mermaid good luck charm, and I bet it's gonna be lucky for you. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I was trying to keep it short as it's if it as because it's our first podcast, and I wasn't going into too much detail about anything specific, because I want to encourage you to read more into mythology as well, because it's very exciting. I hope you possibly learned something new about these mysterious and beautiful creatures of the sea, and yeah, if you enjoyed this new series, please give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment what other tales and mythological creatures you would like to hear more of, and subscribe to our channel not to miss even more stories coming out soon. Have a magical day, you all. Bye.